Greetings, beloved human family. I am Gilles Mansillon. I send greetings and blessings. I wanted to stop by today to welcome you, to greet you, and to wish you a good day. Today is an important day in a sense for in terms of world culture. For we are it's going to be the inauguration of the President Trump, and so there is a lot of uncertainties in relationship to this new aspect of politics in the USA. Of course, you have to approach that from a positive standpoint. See that, of course. Right now, Mr. Trump looks like an elephant in a crystal shop, so it's like, ooh, a lot of things are being shaken up, but he will shake off the tree, and I see a lot of bad apples are going to fall. I really don't know. Some people even believe that he will close down the Fed, do a re-evaluation of the financial system in order to reset it to a straightforward base, but I do not believe that will come. I don't think that will come right now, but I do think that he will definitely create a change, and so we should look towards the change with great optimism, always. For life is what we make it, so it is very important to always stick to joy, stick to happiness, stick to passion, stick to what makes you feel good, because the contrast will always be there for you to be to have an excuse not to be in joy, but do not let that. Do not let those things trouble you, if possible. There is absolutely no value in pitying, in sympathizing, in commiserating with all those who are not ready to move into joy. You may want to have compassion for them. Do not solve their problem. Do not take on their burden. Just hold the space for them to find a moment of peace so that they can resolve their own problem. That demonstrate that you have faith in them as well. Because right now there is a lot going on, and a lot of things are going to be moving. We as individuals have an unprecedented opportunity to create changes, and also to rethink those things of society that are not working. Of course, we do not want to touch whatever works, but there is a lot of things that need to be changed because there are systemic problems within our society. And now, as we become more awakened, the people are going to want to retake the control of the functioning of society. Of course, most people. We were taught to believe that big government was the solution to everything, so we pay a lot of tax to get those big government, but this is not really working so well. And but the point is that there is those bipartisan party were also set up to maintain the status quo. So it is very difficult to operate within those frame and create something new. And in that sense, I feel Mr. Trump, as bizarre as his approach may be, will definitely create a transformation, because he's not a typical Republican, so to speak. So yeah, we do have all the power in heaven and earth to change the world, to change ourselves, to change the world. Anything we don't like, we can change it. It is all up to our beliefs and desire. And understand if the world, there is so many problems in the world, it's because those problems are being kept in the mental, in frequency. It's been fueled by humanity, and the problems get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The more people think of those problems, the more they add to it, and the problem get bigger. In many sense, there is value in the struggle, in adversity, for we learn from that. But we can all change that by learning to step out of the mental hustle and bustle, to move into a flow that is far more that has more ease to it. And so, in essence, we do want to. Be able to free ourselves from the old patterns, for we can no longer hold on to the past. The past is gone, so we do have to be able to be fresh, to be ready to move into something new in the future. And for that, there is a great deal of acceleration within our DNA structure. The DNA is one of the most important discovery we need to discover. It is 97% of it is unknown, but it is all our genetic programming, our future, all the memories we have from the past lives, everything. There is so much within our DNA, and so we do want to activate the source codes, the ones that help us to elevate our consciousness beyond the physical program. The problem is that we have this quark system. There are subatomic crystals that are throughout our energetic field. When that's the way I perceive it at this time, and sometimes there is some dark and light quarks, and then sometimes we're being triggered from something light, and they trigger all kinds of things within us. So the idea is to clarify all those systems and to recognize that those quarks are fulfilling their function. Let's say that as an ex-smoker, if I feel like smoking a cigarette, it is a quark that is reminding me of that habit I had. So I have to transmute it within the violet light in order to understand that the quark is informing me that it is a toxic poison that's evacuating, that's leaving my body, rather than telling me that I need to continue in the submission of that product. So in a sense, everything has to be in balance, but there are certain things that we know are better for us, and so we do have to work with that. Also understanding what are the fears that are useful and fears that are not useful. I mean, no fear is truly useful, but there are certain fears that can be acceptable. Following the same example, I will say, as an ex-smoker, if I have a fear to take a cigarette because I feel like if I take a cigarette I'm going to go back into my old patterns, then the fear of taking that one cigarette is a healthy fear, or fear to put my hand in fire or something. Those fears are healthy, they're natural boundaries that we set for ourselves in order to protect our evolution, and everybody's got different boundaries. So it is good to open to the oneness of it all, but you have to discern to make your boundaries in relationship to what you make real, what you accept, how you go with, and in the same way, all the voices we hear from within ourselves are not necessarily our inner voice. The one that comes from deep within ourselves is always true, but sometimes we may be receiving ideas and thoughts that are part of the dark matrix, because it is part of it. The more we go into the light, the more we have to deal with darkness, because it is about integrating the light within the dark and the dark within the light. In a sense, the spiritual way is to move away from darkness into the light, to let go of ignorance and to become lucid. And for that, we got to go from impure to pure. But once we achieve enlightenment in that way, that we have discovered the light, then the mission we are sent back into the darkness to reintegrate the darkness within the light in order to be balanced within all aspects of the truth, because the truth in the universe has an aspect of light, and then there is an aspect of darkness. And those aspects are always balancing themselves out all the way through eternal cycle, and eventually they'll come closer, and at the end the light will consume everything. But that is only at the end. For now we have to go through that process, but it is an exciting day. I'm also looking forward to some personal change. The card of the day is participation. It means you need to participate, and you have to allow your invisible guides, your presence, your angels, to participate with you, because the more you are able to integrate those energies, connect to those energies, the more the easier things will go, because they already are where you seek to go. They're always with us, but they cannot interfere. They have to wait for us to achieve that frequency, for them to come into connection with us. So it is important to stay connected to your guidance, and to always, if possible, to work, to become a clear participant in the transformative process that is going on any level that we are doing it. It is important. Just sending good thoughts into nature, sending good thoughts to a river, sending good thoughts to a person on the street that's struggling. It's more powerful than a lot of other things that one may do that believe that will solve the problem. Just good thoughts are good thoughts from a good intention. If you're really sincere in wanting to help ascend the world, just send them sorts of light, of joy, that maybe they find a way to solve their struggle, so that you send it to their higher mental body, and when it's the time, the I Am Presence will integrate that light, and that will be helpful for them. So I hope this message was interesting for you. I wanted to thank you for your time, your participation, your exchange, and everything we may... some people do not always vibrate to what I'm saying. They have certain ideas about spirituality, and also I wanted to say that if their ideas are different than mine, well, follow whatever ideas feels right to you, and then at the end, everything adjusts, and everybody finds the truth the way we need to find it. I wanted to show a little bit of the progress on that painting. I've been working on it. There is still a bunch of a lot of details that will not are still not very clearly manifested or made clear, but it will come. 7 courtesy colonies. I'm going to have to populate them. It's a very exciting prospect to do those paintings, those projects, because they're very, very complex, very subtle, but there is a lot of possibilities for discovering new subtle ways of expressing those truths. And so I will hopefully soon finish this painting, and we'll come back to discuss with you. I wanted to say also very briefly, I spoke of a book I wish to publish. That will speak of that might be an introduction to space and interdimensional travel, and also maybe to later on to see what we can do to develop some new technologies. This is very important to me, but this is part of something larger, a larger cultural project I'm working on. So everything will come in due time, in the right way. But I do want to publish this book this year, so it will come up in French, in English, and maybe some other language. For those things are universal. Those new ideas, this need to get on with the practice that is working for that joy, for that freedom, is completely universal, and every culture will be able to adapt it to whatever mode or function in whichever format they wish to integrate it. But I'm looking forward to it, to present those ideas into the world, and so I'll definitely come back and let you know as things unfold. Thank you very much. Namaste.